You're watching Raleigh Smoke, a barbecue channel.
Well, hey there, YouTube. This here is another video from the trip my wife and I took last May to the western part of the state. One of the days there, we decided to spend fishing on Lake Fontana. The only thing we caught, though, was a sunburn. So I had to resort to cooking something we had back at the cabin, which was a whole chicken. And then I got to thinking, I've never spatchcocked a chicken. So I figured, why not? Let's fire the WSM and give it a go. Running in the Weber Smoky Mountain today will be a few chunks of apple wood for a lighter smoke and lump charcoal, which, as I mentioned in my smoked trout video, in my opinion, lump provides a better flavor profile for fish, poultry, and porous cuts of meat that easily take in smoke. Also, lump burns hotter than traditional charcoal, which will help in getting the WSM a bit hotter, which is how you want to cook chicken. Two terms that you'll generally hear in the barbecue world when it comes to cooking are low and slow and hot and fast. Today's cook, because it's chicken, will be done hot and fast. And that just means running your smoker in excess of 275 degrees. When you cook chicken in your home in an oven, you generally do it around 325, 350. Just think of your smoker as an outdoor oven. What we're trying to do is replicate that, and we can easily do it by running a dry water pan in the Weber Smoky Mountain. So here I have a roughly 6-pound oven-ready Perdue chicken. Now the term spatchcock is commonly used to describe a method of cooking fowl by removing the backbone and lying it flat on a grill or roasting pan to allow for a faster and more even cook. Now I gotta say, I do own a pair of kitchen shears, and it's best to use those. Because I forgot most of my barbecue tools on this trip, I was forced to use the dull butcher's knife that was found in the cabin. What you want to do is remove the backbone by cutting down either side of the vertebrae, and you can use the neck and the tailbone as a guide to do this. Once the backbone is removed, you need to break some cartilage so the chicken can lay completely flat. Now you can give it the old karate chop here like Phil and Florence, or you can simply locate this little notch above the keel bone and cut into it about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch until it splits. Either way should allow the chicken to lay flat. Now if you want, you can remove the keel bone completely as seen here in this video. Although it's not necessary, it's good to know that removing this bone will provide some access to the underside of the breast meat, which is great if you plan on using a rub or marinade. For this cook though, I just left it in place. For rub today, I'm just using some of Weber's Steak and Chop seasoning. In my opinion, it's pretty much an all-purpose seasoning or AP rub, made up of salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, and lemon peel. And besides being good on steaks and pork chops, obviously, it's quite good on chicken and grilled vegetables as well. Now if you want, you can work under the skin and get some of that rub directly on the meat, but because these Perdue oven-ready chickens come already seasoned, I just didn't bother. Alright, so now the chicken is seasoned, it's time to get it on the smoker. And as you can see here, the tips of the wings are tucked behind the breast. That's done to allow for a more even cook of the breast meat. You can either do it like this or just cut the tips off. I mean, no one eats them anyways. To help know the internal temperature of the chicken in the pit, I'm using a remote thermometer made by Ivation. It's identical to the Maverick ET732. If you don't have a dual probe thermometer, do yourself a favor and buy one. They are lifesavers and make smoking much easier. This one will run you about 40 or 50 bucks. For this cook, my target pit temp is around 325 degrees. Now while the dome may be reading just shy of 300, our pit probe is showing 334. Why? Well, that's because dome thermometers get a bit off over time, probably due to the buildup of soot. Now don't get me wrong, they're still a good guide, but this here just shows another reason why owning some sort of digital dual probe thermometer is important. Now that our chicken has been on for over an hour and is reading around 135 degrees, I took the time to spray it down with some olive oil. I'm not sure if this really adds anything for flavor, but in my experience, it will help give the skin a nice golden color. Once the chicken was about 5 or 10 degrees shy of our target internal temperature of 165 degrees, I decided to add some barbecue sauce. And today's sauce comes to us from Charleston, South Carolina. It's Melvin's Original Golden Secret, a mustard-based barbecue sauce. Now, if you're not familiar with the sauce variations of the Carolinas, just know that folks around this region use and prefer a mustard-based barbecue sauce. Personally, I think it's a bit odd on pulled pork, but it really shines on chicken. If you ever go on vacation and decide to take your grill or smoker, be sure to bring all necessary supplies and tools, because if you don't, you might be forced to use a spoon of all things to apply barbecue sauce instead of a brush. So after about 10 or 15 minutes, a check of the internal temperature of the breast meat shows that we are at or above 165, which is where we want to be. Plus, this short window of time has allowed our barbecue sauce time to set, and the sugars in it to caramelize as well. So it's time to pull this bird off the smoker, bring it in the house, and eat. Alright, so I tasted this chicken. Man, came out tender and delicious. So I gotta say, spatchcocking a chicken, not too hard. You haven't done it, give it a try. Give that barbecue sauce a try too. That's all I got for y'all. Hope you learned something. I know I certainly did. Thanks for watching.